So thank you for taking your time for meeting with us today to be a part of our Community Spotlight series. So can you tell us about your upbringing in Perth Amboy and how your hometown shaped you into your artistic identity today?
Oh yeah, sure. So I was born in June of '87, right here in Raritan Bay Hospital. I grew up, basically I grew up in this area on State Street, 127 State Street was my grandmother's house. Then my parents, we lived on Jackwood Street on the other side near Shell School. So I was at my grandmother's house every single day, and then I'll get picked up and I'll go right back home on the other side of Amboy. So that's how I usually, that was my usual day. I went to school number 7 right here for elementary school, kindergarten to 4th grade. I did the regular thing. I went to Shell School after, McGinnis School, and then Amboy High. Yeah, so regular schooling and everything here, all of that. I guess what influenced me to do what I do is like any Spanish kid, you wake up Saturday morning, what's your parents doing? They're cleaning the house. So like I would hear all music, different types of music in the house all day. And at my grandma's house, you cleaned every single day at grandma's house. So I would hear all different types of music from there. So I'm listening to salsa, but then at the same time, I'm listening to Michael Jackson. Then I have, at my young age, I had my aunt and uncle were in their mid-20s, so I'm listening to all the music they're influenced by at the time. I have a sister that's older than me. She's listening to music and she's playing different stuff. So everywhere around me was just like different music being played all the time. And I don't think anyone thought it was influencing me. I don't even know if it was influencing me at the time, how much it was. But I remember just listening to everything and picking out like, why is this song so different than this one? Could Michael Jackson sing this song that this person sings? You know, I would ask all these questions. So I remember when I was like 3 years old for Christmas, my mom bought me like a play school marching band set. And she has a picture of me with like my little snare on, and I'm playing around, and there's photos of me like with my dad. He's playing like a little guitar and I'm playing the drums and stuff, just like messing around. But I think it was just like more like no one knew like it was gonna like really like inspire me or anything at that time as a kid. But I just remember there was so many little different things that were around me that had to do with music. My grandmother used to watch novelas with her throughout the day, and she used to sit there with a wooden guido and play the wooden guido while we would watch TV. And I would just, and it was just regular. My mom, well, she still is, she's in the choir at the church. I used to go with her. We used to go to Holy Trinity Church on, I think, Laurie Street. Yeah. I used to go with her to her practices as a little kid, and she would be there where everyone's singing, and there would be the person there playing the guitar. So it was always like just little things around that just like kept influencing me. And then like my uncle gave me a pair of drumsticks and my first pair of headphones when I was a little kid. And it was just like some old stuff he had. Oh, here you go, through it to me. But it always stuck around me to this day. I still have all that stuff. And then I remember I got to Shell School. I'm like 10 years old, and the band teacher there was Mr. Groner. And it's 5th grade. He goes on stage and he's showing all these instruments and he's playing the drums. I saw him play the drums. I was like, I want to do that. So I called my mom. Mom, I want to join the band. I want to play the drums. I want to get in it as fast as I can. Can you sign me up? She's like, yeah. Let me call the school and talk to Mr. Groner, see what you need to start. She calls Mr. Groner, and she tells him like, oh, my son wants to be a drummer. I just want to know what I should buy him so he could start playing. And he goes, well, I only choose a certain amount of kids per year to be drummers because everyone wants to play the drums. But since you're a concerned parent, I'm going to choose your son. So basically he told my mom what to get me. She told me the whole story, like, oh yeah, he's gonna pick you as a drummer. And that's like where it really started at. And then I started playing the drums everywhere. Since like 10 years old, I still play now. And at the same time in town, there was a lot of people that were rapping, a lot of people doing music. I had friends that were in a bachata group. I had my friends that were rappers in town. I had friends that were producers in town. So I started just being outside a lot more. I started being around people around here that were doing music, and it was me more so just like trying to learn and just trying to be around it and try to see what's going on. And as I was doing that, it just started accumulating. I'm doing music in school, I'm trying to do music on the outside, and I try to bring both of them together at the same time, and I try to learn from other people's mistakes so I didn't make the same mistakes. And eventually, I remember I'm in high school, and a good friend of mine that was a year older was telling me, oh, I'm going to go to school for audio engineering. I was like, what the heck is that? And he was telling me, because I would go to his house, because that's where I first saw like how recording was done. He's like, oh, the stuff that we do at my house with recording. I was like, oh, okay. Now I knew what the name of it was. So he was saying he was going to go to school for it, and I was like, man, I'm going to go to school for it too. But he was a year older than me, and he left and went to Florida for school, for the school called Full Sail. But he left, and the next year when I became a senior, they had career day at high school, and they had Jacksonville University there, and Jacksonville University had a music program, and I went to her. I remember there was a lady in front, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that thing with the faders and, you know, record the music. And then she was like, oh, sound engineering of the arts. I'm like, yeah, how do I get into that? So then she told me I would have to send she said I had to send a videotape of me playing the drums and playing different instruments. Yeah. And I was like, oh, damn, okay, I'll do all that. But then I went home and I told my mom, oh, I want to go to Florida, Jacksonville, I want to go to school there. And she's like, no, you're too young. Yeah, you can't do it. So I found the school out here in New Jersey, and I started getting into it over here through there, going to classes and everything at William Patterson University. And that's where I really picked up what it meant to be an audio engineer. And then that's when I would come back home, and I was coming back home more and more often, working on music more and more, because I understood what it was.
What was your parents' reactions when you told them that you wanted to go to school for this?
My mom first asked, do you get a 401k? Yeah. She said, how do you retire from it? Mm-hmm. All these thoughts, like, Mom, it doesn't work like that. Right. So my mother and father were nervous. Mm-hmm. They didn't understand what it was. Like, they didn't understand why I stay up so late at night. Mm-hmm. Why am I coming home so late? Why can't you do music during the day? Just those little things. And then they wanted me to go to college, but I told them, I was like, if I go to college for anything besides music, I'm going to fail. I'm not going to pass. I'm not. I already know we're going to be wasting our money. So then they're like, all right. My mom had a long talk with my grandmother. My grandmother's always been the wise one. So my grandmother told her, and my grandmother doesn't even know anything either about this life. She's like, does it make him happy? Oh, he loves it. It makes him happy. Well, then that's what he's supposed to be doing. If it's keeping him content, then let him do it. We worry about everything else later. So that's how it really happened. It was really her that put it in my mother's and father's head to let this kid do what he wants to do. And then it was more of me going out there and just proving it.
So can you elaborate more on the path that led you to the field of mixing? So, I mean, you did say, you grew up with, your friends and everyone was doing music at the time. Mm-hmm. Was there any, specific time that you realized, I want to do this?
Yeah. So, when I was a junior in high school, like I said, I went to my friend's house. And I have a group of friends that are still in town. They were doing music, they were rapping, they were producing, and we would be on Thomas Street in my friend's basement. His name's Louis Gums. His family's really well known over here. So it was him, and he's also audio engineer, music producer. But when I went to his house, it was the first time I ever saw a mixing board. And with his mixing board, we had to put a cassette in it. And he turned on his computer was connected to it. He turns on the computer and he goes, yo, you see this? He's showing me a program. I'm like, what is this? He goes, it's called Pro Tools. I was like, what's that? And he goes, you see all this stuff we could do right here with the faders and everything? We could do in the computer now. I was like, oh man, that changed my whole world. I sat next to him every chance I got just to see him work and like, what you press there? How'd you do that? How'd you do this? And then that's when it really caught my attention. What, like, once I saw it go from being physical to being digital, oh man, that like changed my life. That changed it. And then I always wanted to be recorded playing the drums. So I just was like, man, I'd rather play the drums than try to make a drum beat on the computer.
Right.
So it was like, I just taught myself how to put the mics up correctly to record the drums, and that was just me, like, oh, I just wanna record myself. But really learning how to listen to sounds and pick the sounds and place them was really sitting next to my friend and watching them and being so interested in, like, I can't believe that this is digital and it's not physical anymore. Like, I don't have to buy all this. I could just have it in the computer. So yeah, that's what it was.
You've succeeded in mixing engineering and music, and you have multiple gold, platinum, and the diamond RIAA certifications and 2 Grammy nominations. What was your defining moment of when you found out about these Grammy nominations?
Oh man. So it was pretty much of a headache. It was heartbreaking at first. So what was it? 2018 was the Grammys. So I go to the so it was before the Grammys, a couple months before the Grammys. The nominations came out, and I worked on the song Post Malone Rockstar. So I worked on it from the beginning of it to the end of it. So it was finally done. When the song came out for nomination, the credits came out, my name wasn't up. And the award that it was nominated for is a specific award that it's recognizing the people who work on the record behind the scenes. So now I have to go through the fiasco of they give you like 2 days to try and fix it. So I had to go on a hectic search to get all my proof again and contact the people from the Grammy committee so they could put my name into the nomination. A week later, all of that got changed and my name was in the Grammy nomination. That's when I was like, oh man, now this is real. This is unbelievable. And I never even thought I could get nominated for a Grammy or anything like that. I didn't know that there's specific awards for like what I do. I didn't think of anything like that. I never even got into the industry because of that. I never even dreamt that big to even think about, oh, I could be nominated for Grammy or win a Grammy. So then I see my name there, and I was so elated because I really think that was the last gift my grandmother gave me, because that was when I found out the nomination. I think that was December, and she passed away that September. So I'm telling you, I really think that was her last like gift. And I got in front of the Staples Center, which is Crypto.com Arena now. When I got in front of it, that's when I was like, oh, okay, this is real. Yeah. Now this is real. Then you start seeing this artist and everyone walk by, and it's like, it was. I saw the Backstreet Boys walk by me, and that's when I knew, okay, this is definitely something big. I did not expect to see them. I was like, all right, I'm supposed to be where I'm supposed to be here right now. What I do, yes, is an addiction. I have an addiction to it. I love it. It's what makes me breathe, what makes me walk, what makes me function in society. So yes, I do need it. The accolades and everything, when I did get it, yes, it made me want it more. But more so, I wanted it more because now I just want to see how far I can go. I look at my life as a book. So every time I turn a year, it's a different chapter. So I want to see what's the next chapter. I want to see what I can do in my next chapter every single time. So now it's like, man, I do all this cool stuff. I wonder what else I could do that's cool. I wonder how much further I could push it. I wonder, now it's like, I already surpassed all my dreams. All my dreams, aspirations, I did that. I passed it 10 years ago. Like, I didn't think I could dream this big. Now it's like, man, let me see how far I could take it. Let me see where else I can go. Let me see where else this could take me. And this thing is taking me practically all over the world. So it's like, okay, where else? Who else can I work with? Who else can I get in the room with? Who else? What other artists I can? My favorite thing is, I love getting artists to say my hometown's name. what other artist can I get to say my hometown's name? So it's like, your favorite artist, the biggest artist you could think of, I had them say this town's name. So it's like, I'm like, yeah. it's like it's a little trophy for me.
So as you continue to grow in your career, how do you envision to further contribute to the industry and represent Perth Amboy in a larger scale?
Well, definitely always, first and foremost, like with me, definitely always being prideful where I'm at. So always shouting out where I'm from and making sure they're saying it correctly. That's one thing. Another thing is the people I'm around on the West Coast, they're very giving people. So I've seen a lot of good that they've done in their community. And I've seen a lot of good that they've done for kids and for people who want to learn music. And they're so giving. So it's like, I feel like I'm at the point now where I can be more giving as well. I can bring my ideas or the ideologies I've learned from the West Coast and bring it back here on the East Coast and bring it to Perth Amboy and, you know, help somebody else out that wants to do this. That's the best way to give back, to be able to open the door for someone else that wants to do it if they really, really want it. And it's happened since I've been doing what I'm doing. I'm not the only engineer now from this town that's in the industry. I have a good friend of mine that's also Grammy nominated and has an Emmy under his belt. That's from Perth Amboy. I have another friend of mine that came from under me that's from Perth Amboy that's made a career out of this too. So it's all about being able. For me, I feel like I had to be the person to get my foot in the door and to open the door. Now, as me, I have to be the one to bring people along with me. Show them, yeah, you can do this. Hey, show them like, if you just work hard, you could be in this industry and work on music and do something you really, truly love. You don't have to, like, just keep this as a hobby. You don't have to go work another job and forget about the dream you had. So it's challenging for sure. Because I also see that there's people here that are interested in doing music, but there's things in their lives that's holding them back. And it's practically a normal thing, especially in this town, especially how we're raised over here. Because I've seen a lot of my friends where they had dreams, aspirations, but they couldn't go for it. And it wasn't because they didn't have the ability, it was because there's other things in their life that were holding them back. Could be taking care of family member, taking care of things in their family, household, personal stuff like that held them back. So it's like, in my head, I'm trying to figure out a way where I could minimalize that and still, you know, show people that you can still go after what you really, truly want to do. And let people know too where, you know, when you get out of high school, you should definitely go after what you always want to go after. Because if you fail at it, it doesn't matter. You could still become something else and be successful in that and make a good life out of, like, for yourself. But do you want to live with the regret, not knowing that if you could do it or not? So, what I tell a lot of kids and people who aspire to music or just aspire to do something that they really, really want to do is, yes, you're afraid. We're all afraid to go after it. You got to get over that. That's one thing. And do not live with regret. You don't want to live with what ifs.